This meeting is being recorded.
So question one, what does SiriusXM do? In what type of market does it conduct its business? So people who over Zoom, you can also answer the questions. So who wants to answer question one? You? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just made some note in my
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can. Are you using Zoom?
no.
Okay, so go ahead. No worries. So.
Yeah, so the company is like radio business.
Uh huh.
They have multiple channels related to news, music, and entertainment. What they do is they actually install their service, giving service in the cars in the US. Beyond US, they are making the rich internet facility and the smartphone. That's how they are making the business.
Okay, that's great. What were the challenges? Comment both technology and data-related challenges. Is there anybody else who wants to comment? Still you? Okay, go ahead. I mean, you get all of the credits.
Still younger generation because they had less discretionary income than the overall household income. And second problem was like when the car was being sold to a different person. So to locate that second owner, how he actually behaves and making him a loyal customer, that was the second challenge. And the third one is the made acquisition of a company. So how to capitalize that acquisition facility to bring revenue stream in their business. These are the three challenges they faced.
So how they resolve the challenges or how they deal with the challenges?
Yeah, so first they make the data analytics decision. Before doing that, they make a couple of things like unanimous decision organization-wide that we are doing. So that was not anything like business basis, whether it was something like part of their strategy. So they made first of all a unanimous decision, and secondly they made the data integrated in a single place, and they differentiated the consumers, then listener, driver, and multiple stakeholders, whom they will target. So based on that segmentation, what they did, significant one is like instead of doing mass marketing, they went for like tailored marketing, and they found that that's the most effective one. And later on, actually, what happened? They could gain the real-time information regarding when the launch campaign.
Yeah,
what outcome of that campaign?
Yes, they had the data latency that they with the, kind of faster analysis, so they could handle it. So what else they did?
Yes, so they also work with Teradata. Teradata helped them to improve on the data latency and the data replication. Instead of waiting for like 4 days to get the campaign result, so that was one progress on their side. And apart from that, and also they integrated the in-house marketing solution in their hands. Yeah,
they used to have a third-party marketing company that couldn't handle their new challenges, so they incorporated. They basically invested in their own company and make it in-house marketing. And all of them happened by collaboration with Teradata. Very good, very good. Okay, so any questions about your assignments, quiz, or like?
I need one clarification. Second and third assignment, homework. What are actually saying, right? Say means they don't say data. Like the third one is actually the extension of the second one. Right?
Yeah. I'm fine with any assumption. As long as your assumptions is right, I'm fine with it. Which is, you have a right assumption. So, set. So let me just close it. So, please go over Moodle and download the databases for week 3. So I give you like few minutes for doing that. So go to week 3, class materials, and download everything that starts with P1. So there's a 4 Excel file. We work with the 3 of them, but just download all of them. And then open your Tableau. Okay, so first data that we are going to work with is P1-office supplies. So first we need to bring into Tableau. So as you see, P1-office supplies.csv is a CSV file, is a kind of text file that, and each value is separated with a comma. So CS is a comma separated from CSV. So you need to click on text file, then go over your folder, select office supplies and press open. So let's look at the data. We have an order date, region, representative, item, units, and unit price. So before just doing the visualization, you should have some hypothesis or some goals in general. For example, your goal might be finding the overall trend, your trend over months, the region that has highest sale, the representative that has highest sale, finding sale in different sections. So it seems to be first 4 columns, you can get some insights in terms of knowing who's selling most, what is your best item, your performance over years, and regions. Having said that, do you see there's a sheet 1 at the bottom? Next to sheet 1 is new worksheet button at the bottom of your Tableau. Just click on it. So now we have a blank sheet. On the left side, you see we have measure names and measure values. Do you guys remember what was names and values refer to? So names, which is the upper part of the variables, basically refer to nominal values or variables. And at the bottom, we have numerical variables that you can measure them. So it makes, and look at the next to each variable, you see a type of icon. So next to item, there is ABC, means it's a text. Or near order date, you have is kind of something like calendar, but very small, hard to. Near representative, we have ABC. So Tableau automatically gets the type of variable that we are working with. But next to unit price, you have hash sign. Near units, you have hash sign. Near whatever, this is like, let me just expand it, is the count variable. So basically just counting how many records you have in each item. And so you can say, you can just, with them, you can understand what was basically, how basically Tableau guess what type of variable you are working with. Okay, so let's say you are not happy with the variable type. You think probably Tableau would make a really good guess, but let's say the guess is not that much fun for you, or you are not happy with that. So you can just click and change the type of variable to Boolean, string, dates, date and time, numbers, decimal or whole, but we are happy with the unit price. When you click on it, it just said number, decimal, so that should be fine. So it's the way that you can play with those type of variables. Or graphical role, which, I mean, later I show you what does it mean, but basically anytime you are not happy with those things, you can just change them. So anyway, our first goal is understanding how much sales we have in each region, just as example. Or in your assignment, in the Titanic data set, maybe your goal is understanding which gender survive more, or how many passengers in each gender you have, or how many passengers you have in each type of tickets. So there's a different ticket ratings. So basically you need to identify what is your goal, what you want to do. So if it's my goal is for region, how much sales I have in each region, I need to know how much I sold in each region, or what was my sale in each region. What does sale mean? Unit price times number of units. So you can find what was each sale price. But do I have that? No, I don't. So I need to create that variable. So you right click at the bottom, some empty space here. Create calculated field. Maybe I put sale. I just rename it to sale. Yeah, I was not happy with the default name. Then I click here. So sale is the unit price times number of units. So unit price, I drag and drop unit price here. Then I put multiplication sign, and then drag and drop units and press OK. So let me just delete this one. This is extra. So yeah. And as you see, it's automatically a numerical value, so a hash sign over there. So that's totally fine. Again, if you forgot what does hash sign mean, just go over hash sign, click, and you see it's a decimal, numerical decimal. Again, so I drag and drop region to columns and sale to the rows. So if you want to tell me what which region you have the highest sale, Central, yeah. So I think understanding row and columns is very easy for you, because you can see in the rows I have sale, summation of sale, and the column I have regions. Having said that, Maybe I can. Now, let's say I want to do some changes in the middle of my sheets. So row, column, and something in the middle. So let's say I want to change the color based on amount of sale. So I go over sale, drag and drop here. On the left side, instead of details, that doesn't show anything at this point, I click and change color. Now look at here. I made some like pattern change here. So basically, if you drag and drop anything under marks, you change the pattern. Or let's say I want to show some numbers on top of the columns. Still, I'm not playing with the row and columns. I'm doing some change in the middle of my figure or on my figure. So again, let's drag and drop sale to here. Instead of detail, I go for labels. Now I have total amount of sale. So you don't need to memorize them. Just keep in mind, you need to do some practices to get some insight that what those like pattern-wise or marks works. So, and they are not available for each type of graph. So you just need to just play with that and get used to that. So, but basically rows, columns, and middle. So you understand how to work it. Okay, so let's say I'm not that much happy with the bar charts. You can go to show me here on the right up. Maybe you can change it to, let's say, whatever, pie chart. Pie chart looks very small here. Look at my mouse. I'm just approaching from right side. Now my mouse changed. Look at here. So I drag, then I approach from low. Now I make my figure larger. So if you're not happy with the size, if you look at my mouse, now it's changed, right? So I drag, make it larger, or from right, drag and make it larger. Now colors shows my region, but I don't see the regions. And this, if you look at here, angles, the angles show the sale, and maybe I don't need that. Let me just drop. So regions refer to, the color refer to region, and the size of angle refer to amount of sale. But let's say you want to have some value over there. So for example, what does each color means? You want to have the region names. So what you do? Does anyone any suggestion that I want to see the region names instead of just colors? What can I do?
I think we can add region again here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are right. So I go over region, drag over labels. Now I have the region names. Okay, let's name this sheet as region sale. So look at down at the bottom of the page. I'm just renaming the sheet region dash sale. When I click here, also the name changed over here. Again, I open another sheet. Maybe I want to look at the, let's say, items. I drag item here. I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of items. And I want to look at how many units I'm selling from them. So for row, I drop units. Okay, what is the lowest item count that you are selling? lowest number of items, in which item category you don't sell that much. Yeah, this. Again, you can change color, you can put labels. Let's say, let's put the label. So I go to over units. Let's say unit, not unit price, maybe sale. Sale over labels. So look at labels. 1,700. But my rows are like 50 something. Because my row is based on summation of units. But in the middle, in the pattern, I want to use summation of total set, not number of units. So these are independent from each other. Maybe I can go here. You can, on each text, you can click, play with the font size, make it bold, or like put some shades on them. Color maybe orange, bold, size maybe larger. You can, with the clear, you get back to the first. Let's make it larger. So font. Okay, let's make another one. I click on new worksheet. So for the row columns, now I drop order date. And instead of year, you know, by default, it's just showing me year. Maybe I'm not happy with the year as a unit of my date. I right click, then select month. Also, now I want to say, to look at my sale over months. And this is the figure. So with this figure, you can understand which month we have the maximum sale, which was December 2014. Again, if it's hard to find which month, we can put date as a label. So order date, I put it on label. And let me just change it to month. So I wanted to do some change in the middle of figure. I wanted to see exact month much easier than just following like columns to find the exact date. So I put a label. By default, it was year. Then I right click, change it to month. So let me change this one to sale month. This one to item sale. No, item units. Okay. Now I want to look at the histogram of my sale. So what I do, I go over sale, right click, create, beans. Number of beans, let's make 5. Now, my sales here, do you see? So sale was a numerical, right click, create beans. Then beans are kind of, it's like nominal values. So it's the reason you see them here. Let me go over here and edit it. I mean, size of beans 5 is very low. So let me just make it maybe 1,000. 1,000 is like too much close. So as you see, for me, it was hard to understand which bean size is good. Maybe I can make an automatic bean changer. So I would, after that, I can understand which bean size is best for me. So here, I right click here and create parameter. I name it as sales bean size. Make it integer. And I make a range. Minimum, let's say 500. Maximum 1,000. And step size, let's say 100. Again, I made a parameter for changing my bean sizes. Might be a little difficult for you, I mean, fuzzy for you. But basically, I say 500 is my minimum, maximum is 1,000, and step is 100. So what does it mean? My first number is 500. A step is 100, so the next number is 600, then 700, 800, up to 1,000. So let's see what happens. Now I have I created parameter. I go over my sale, right click, and then I go to, actually it was sale bean, right click, edit. Now instead of size of bean 1,000, I select size, sale bean size. It's the parameter that I just created. Press OK. And let me see. Over my parameter, I click on show parameter. Let me just show it to you. So still I cannot play with the bean sizes. What I do, I want to change my parameter and have a better insight. So right click on parameters, show parameter. Now, if you look at the right side, my parameters are there. The minimum is 500. Just see when I play with this button, what happens. 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Maybe 600 was good. So, okay, I give you 5 minutes to play with that. Then, and if you have any questions, let me know. But again, you need to just play a lot. But first, you need to know how to make beans. So for histogram, you need to create beans. is when I want to say if the bin is a nominal value, it goes up. Then I use bin as my column and sum of units as my rows. Then I first my bin size was 1,000. First actually it was I think 1. It was very bad, so it was so a big figure. Then I made 1,000. I just had 2 bins. Then I was not sure which bin size is the best one, so I made a parameter to play with the bins, and I said my initial minimum is 500, then go to 1,000, and the step size 100, 100. I created right click show parameter over there, then I played with my parameter, and just for me 600 looks good, so I stuck with that. Any question about parameters? What you can understand from your sale? What this figure is talking about? So my first bin is from 500 to 600. And as you see, most of my sales, numerical number of sales, are in my first bin. So most of your sales is less than $600, which makes sense when you go to have more expensive sales. So bin 4 is from like 600, 0 to 600, 600 to 1200, 1200, 1800. I mean, your expensive sales are the less number of sales that you have. So because my columns outside rows shows number of units. Number of units that you have more than 1800 sales value is the less amount of sales that you have. Again, instead of just trying to find, like, for example, in the last B, which is from 1800 to 2400, maybe it's about we have 100 sales or units. Instead of just like using your eyes and trying to track that, maybe we can just drop the numerical values over there. So what can I do? Again, I go to units, put it on labels, and now we can understand from how many units you sold in different sales price. Or you can play with the color or with the size, or so it doesn't. I don't say that every time maybe label is good. It depends on the figure that you are working with that. So you need to understand which type of pattern you want to apply to your figure. So let me name it as histogram of sale histogram. So sale dash histogram. Okay, now let's say I want to present this report to my manager. You can do something similar to PowerPoint here. What you do, go over here, it's just saying that the last button is a new story. Just click on it. And you see all of your figures here. Just try to grab them and drop in the here, like second one, drag here, third one here, and the fourth one. So if you want to present this report in the first one, maybe you can change item that is sold. Maybe second one, you can say region sales month sale histogram of sale. So let's say you want to report to your manager. You go to the first one. You talk about first of all, if you don't like the table, let me just make it smaller. So let me just make it smaller. So when I go to the story, now I can see everything. So if you're not happy with the size, you can just go back to each sheet and just change the size. Now I can see. So for example, I want to report, do an annual report to my manager. I would say, okay, sales are the less amount of units that we are selling. Our hottest items are pencils and binders. Then I click on this arrow, go here. I tell that our best performance region is the center. Central. The best selling month was December 2014. Again, this histogram, I cannot see the bottom of that. What can I do? I go to histogram sheet, take my mouse here, drag my mouse here. Now, if I go to a story, I can see my histogram very well. So you can say our selling the most expensive items is the lowest one. We just have 94 units there. So maybe we can do some marketing or advertisement to improve sale of the most expensive items. Maybe you don't need to do advertisement in the cheapest item because you are already selling too many items. Or you can say, if you want to run a marketing if you want to invest in the marketing, maybe you can invest in the west region because you are not just selling that much. You're in the center and east region, you have good sale. So if you want to run a marketing campaign, maybe it's better to run it on the western region to improve your marketing. So again, as you see, you can easily make a presentation. So if in your project, in your final project, it's one of the ways that you present your results. You need to make some descriptive statistics and some figures. Based on your hypothesis or interesting items, let me just go in the first part. Maybe you have you want to understand which regions you have the best sale, who's the best representative, who's selling the most. Maybe you want to promote one of your representative, you look at their sales, or histogram of sale, number of units, so on and so forth. So let's look at that one. We want to see our best representative. Let me go to data source. As you see, rep means the people who are selling. So I make a new sheet, a worksheet. I grab rep. These are people. And for the row, I drag sale. Then I want to see who sold the most. Again, I look at sale, drag and drop on labels. So yeah, Matthew and Susan they had the highest amount of sale. So if you want to promote a couple of them, basically these two guys are the best representatives. So you can make easily make a decision who can get the promotion. Again, based on your project, you might make different figures. So if you go to show me, bubble chart, quantile, even map. We work with the map later today, but these are different figures that you can, or maybe you can make a 3 charts. It's not very useful here because maybe here this figure was the best, or this one not that much helpful. So it depends which kind of analysis you do. Bar chart might be the best for the people, I mean, for finding the best representative. So let me just. So if there is no question, please save this one, or you don't have to save. You can go File, Save As. Put a name, maybe class practice 1. Save, and you can use it later. Okay, so open a new Tableau. I give you like a couple of minutes or like few minutes to work with this, these tables, and if you have questions, you can ask me. And then we go to the next Excel worksheets.
Hi, Hamid.
Yes.
Can you talk about the homework tree again? I may misunderstand something about the instruction.
Okay, so let me just open it. Let me just share my screen. I'm not sure if you can see that. So what is your question about that?
Yeah, about homework tree, because I may misunderstand the instruction. In the PowerPoint is in the PowerPoint.
Actually, it's a small project, but you do it with the Tableau. It looks like your final project, but it's a much smaller scale. Basically, you want to use a Tableau and visualizations to get some insight about what happened to Titanic. The data source is from Kaggle. And you download the train data set. Basically, you should write you make a short, my voice is just reflected. That's fine. So you make a short summary about Titanic, introduction about, you make an executive summary about your effort. So you need to write executive summary after you done whole of the project. So it's not, you cannot write your executive summary without doing this project. So first you write your introduction, then do some, in your introduction, you make some hypotheses or some, you write the ideas that you want to investigate in this project. For example, relation of gender to survival, or age to survival, or the ticket price to survival, something like that. Then you do some visualization like what I did today. For example, today I wanted to look at sales in different regions. Maybe in Titanic, you look at the gender and if they are survived or died. Then based on the visualization, you end up like making some conclusions about the data. You make a Tableau story like what I did today, and you write your conclusions and make a video presentations. For the people who come at the due date, you can present in the class. You don't have to make video presentation, but I assume most of you are over Zoom, so you guys can make a video presentation and send me either the video or the YouTube link. Also, you need to make some slides. So about introduction, your visualization, discussion, conclusion. And for introduction, you write something about Titanic. Please put the reference of your introduction. For example, you put some statistics or general description of Titanic. So maybe it's come from a Wikipedia link. So anyway, you need to put your references. This is similar to your final project, but in much smaller scale. Okay, do you have other question about homework?
So we have to make a PowerPoint presentation, right?
For presentation, you have 3 presentations. One is your Tableau story. Second is your YouTube presentation. Third is a PowerPoint presentation. And in your YouTube or in your video presentation, you can use your Tableau and your PowerPoint.
I have to use both of them, or I can choose one.
You make all of them.
Oh, okay.
I hope my explanation was useful. So in your final project, basically you do something similar, but you have some, maybe your project is a predictive analytics. So you need to use a software that I teach you later. The name is KNIME. So you include that. So your basically your analysis is much more than here. Here you just have visual analytics. Over there you have some predictive analytics too. Okay, so let me just go over Tableau. So in the data source, now I want to bring Excel. So click on Microsoft Excel. Let's bring long-term unemployment statistics. Oh, not this one. Let me see what I have there. Okay, we have some, okay. UK bank, please, okay. As you see, if it's an Excel file, you open Excel, but now, since we have, we don't have that much of time, please bring this file. UK bank customers, and this is a CSV file. Let me just remove it. Let's go here. Okay, in data source, click on text file. You bring UK bank customers. So as you see, we have, first of all, this data is made up, so they are not actual customers. So we have name, first name, last name, gender, age, region, job classification, date, balance. Okay, we go over the first sheet. So as you see, we have region. Next to region, I have ABC, means it's a text. It's not an actual region. So Tableau couldn't understand that is a regional variable. So we can change it. So ABC, geographical rule. And click over state province. Because in the, it's coming from UK, it's a province, not state, but click on it. Now, next to region, the symbol is different. Drag and drop here. So nothing shows. We told Tableau this is a regional variable, but still Tableau has a problem. Because in many cases, there's similar names in like Canada, US, UK, or Australia, or the English-based countries. Sometimes they have similar names. So we should tell Tableau which what is the actual country of this like region. Look at here. At the bottom right, we have 4 unknowns. just click on it, go over edit location. Now the default country is United States. Click on it and change it to United Kingdom. Then okay. So now Tableau could understand these are coming from United Kingdom. So under marks, I select map. Now you see each region of United Kingdom has a color, but just one color. Now we can just play with that, make it better colors. So here, over this, just click next to region and select colors. Now each region has different color. Maybe look at this one, PK UK bank customers. When I go over, take my mouse over that, you see it just changed a generated field that counts the number of records in P1 UK-bank-customer.csv. Basically, these are the number of records. So for example, you can understand how many records are related to each part of UK, right? So drag this one, put it in the middle or under marks, and I change it to label. Now you can understand how many labels I have in each, or how many records or customers I have in each region. Basically, look at this one under marks. It's put CNT, is a stand for count. Let me just put it UK map. Okay, let's play with the histogram of age. Now I want to look at the histogram of my customers. So I make a new sheet, make it as a histogram-age. So my age is not in bins. By default, is as a number, right? Here. So I right click, change data type, not here actually, sorry, create bins. So I name it age bin, number of size of bins, let's say 5 years. Click OK. So now I have a nominal variable of age parenthesis bin. I drag on my column. So do you see 15, 25, 25, sorry, 15, 20, 25 up to 60. Now I want to see how many customers I have in each age bin. So what should I do? I drag and drop CNT variable, which accounts for count how many customers I do have, which was this variable, PK1 unit bank customers. Drag and drop for rows. Now I see how many customers I have in each age bin. Again, if you're not happy with the size, you can simply, oh, sorry. My mouse is not helping. Okay. I drag here, drop. Now I want to play with a number of bins that I have. I need to create a parameter and then I assign it to my age bin. Parameter means you play with the parameter and it reflects to your age bin. So right click, create parameter. Let's call it age bin dash parameter or age parameter. Integer. And instead of, let's say current value 5, and instead of that time I put range, min, max, and step. Let's now put a list. So I click on list. Automatic number standard. I think it's still, this one's better. Let's put it, I mean, range. So minimum, maybe 5, maximum 15, the step size 5. Okay, now I created a age bin parameter, right click, show parameter here. Let me just close it. So it's here, maybe you can just take it here. So I drag from right side, left it here. Now I'm playing with my parameter, but nothing happens to my histogram, you see? I need to assign this parameter to my age bin variable here, otherwise you don't see any reflection here. So for assigning my parameter to age bin, I right click on age bin, click on edit. Now look at the size of bin parameter. Instead of 5, I select age bin or age parameter. Click. Then okay. Now look at my parameter. You see? The age histogram is changing based on playing with my parameter. Again, you need to create parameter and then assign it to your histogram variable, which is age bin here. So it needs 2 steps. Let's make a second one, and now let's play with the, let's look at the gender distribution or job gender, let's say. So I put gender in my column. Then again, I want to look at the number of records. I want to see how many people I have for each gender. Then again, I drag and drop over my label. So this is a histogram. This time, let's look at a pie chart. I take my mouse in the upper right, click on show me, then select pie chart. Maybe it's too small. Let's see. Sometimes this mouse does not have, so okay. Let's make it larger. And here, instead of size, I select label. So you can see how many records are related to each gender. Maybe you can, instead of color, let me just close. Let me just drag gender from right side, you see, to here. And instead of number, I right click. Let's say if I can see here. Or no. Okay, percent of total. Okay, so you can right click, go over quick table calculations. You can look at the rank, percentile, moving average, differences. I select if it's running total, which is the default. You see the number of records. You can change it to percent from total or percent of total. So you see 46% are female customers and 54% are male customers. And we can just keep adding figures. So let me just make it as a gender. For your actual project, don't make just 2 or 3 figures, just add as much as you can, as much as makes sense. Now let's look at my story. Oh no, now let's make a dashboard. You might remember that in dashboard, you can see the current situation and it's like a car dashboard. I click on new dashboard at the bottom. And I drag and drop my figures here. Like first, let's drag map, drop gender, and histogram of age. As you see now, it's not interactive. The only interaction that I have is playing with the parameter and look at different histograms. What you can do, you can, if you want these figures have interaction with each other, you need to connect those individual figures to each other. How? Go on each figure, over more options, select, what is filter? Okay, filter, no. Use as a filter. Let me do it for gender figure again. I go over here, click on it. I have more options here. Then select use as a filter. And same for histogram. Go over histogram, select more options. Then select use as a filter. So now let's see what happens. If I go to Scotland, now all of my figures are broke as a filter and connected. So in Scotland, 28% are female, 72% are male. If I go to Northern Ireland, 74% of customers are female and just 26% are male. And you can look at the different age distribution. So in Northern Ireland, your histogram is skewed to the right, means most of your customers are young generation. So here you can make some marketing campaign, and maybe in the Northern Ireland, if you do marketing for the younger generation, maybe it makes more money because most of your customers are younger. In England, it's kind of a normal distribution, almost 50% from each gender, and the age distribution, there's no skew in that distribution. In Scotland, female customers just accounts for 28%. Maybe over there you can target female market and just encourage them do some genius marketing to, bring them to your company. So you can make more money by focusing on the female customers over Scotland, and so on and so forth. So again, in dashboard, first you drag and drop the figures that you want to show. Also, if you select the ones that needs to have interaction with each other. So you don't have to make all of them as a filter. For example, let me go over age and deselect filter. what happens? Okay. Let's me, oh, sorry. Let me just go back. Okay. So look at histogram. Now when I click on each bar, you don't see any interaction in other figures. Or let's say go over map. In more option, I deselect filter. Now when I click on each region, other figures don't get updated because I just said it's not don't use a filter over map. So now it's a standalone figure, but it's better. If you want to do some interaction, please just use that figure as a filter. So now when I click on each region of say Scott UK, I can see its interaction with other figures. But probably for histogram, you don't need to have, you don't want to use it as a filter. You just let as it is. So that's dashboard. Actually if you want to do it in other programming languages or Python, it takes forever. It's really difficult to make them over there. But here, drag, drop, select as a filter, and that's it. So you can easily make some visualizations. So the next thing, after making standalone figures and dashboard, you can make several dashboards. You don't have to just make one. In the story, now maybe one of them is a UK map, another one gender, and my dashboard, maybe the last one. So, and you can just put the description there, play the figures, and when you want to present your research or your project, you go over each part of your story, maybe map of customers, this one, gender distribution, dashboard. And you can just talk one by one. For example, you can here talk about like frequency of your customers or the distribution each UK province. Here you can talk about overall gender distribution, and here you can just play with this interactive figures and just talk about different marketing or strategies that you can have. You can do similar for Titanic database. So in Titanic, you can first make some worksheets, standalone figures. Then you can make dashboards, interactive figures, and then you need to make a storyline and talk about a story of your data. I know it's the first time you're working with that, it might be a little challenge, but actually Tableau is a really easy software. You just need to play with that. You just need to know some definitions, like what does parameter means, how to make bins, how to change the variable types, how to make dashboards and stories, and the rest is just for practice. So it's not the case that you need to just memorize it. You need to have some hands-on experience. Any questions? So let's look at the last figure. Again, you can save it so later you can show your presentation. So I can say class practice 2. Let's open the last file. I'm just trying to make a new Tableau. Now let's bring that Excel file. So I click on data source, click on Microsoft Excel, and long-term employment statistics. So you can see that we have age distribution, age range, gender, period, and number of unemployed people. Let's open the first sheet. Maybe I can look at distribution of number of unemployed people over different periods. So what can I do? I drag period here. So it's based on year. If I want to look at the monthly unemployment rate, I can right click on rate and select month. Then do you remember count means how many records we have? So I can drag and drop here. So it means the highest unemployment rate was in January, then February, then the rest is almost same. So let's add another date or period. Okay, I put year before this. Very interesting, almost very similar each year. So not big differences here. Let me delete this. Make it. I think it was better bring another figure. Yes, count maybe is not a good one. Let's bring number of unemployed people. That's much better. And then let's drag period here. Okay, now it's more informative. So again, we look at the unemployment rate and numbers in different years. So as you see, maybe month is not a good subunit. In each section I have year and months. Maybe instead of month, I can right click and do it quarters. That's much easier to see. Then let's look at the gender distribution in the middle. So I drag and drop gender here. And let's change to color and drag gender from right side to here. So you can see number of unemployed men and women in different years. Also, instead of automatic, let's select area. And maybe we can drag and drop age here and make it as colors. Or maybe we can just exclude gender here and look at the distribution on a number of unemployed people based on age. Not that much of difficult, actually. So here you can see the most unemployed number of people is between 16 to 19, and less amount is 65 or more, which makes more sense. Also, number of unemployed people in 2010 was the peak, then it reduced significantly. I mean, that's it. I mean, here maybe it's not that much of value, but you got the point. So in the column, I can just add more column variables. Look at here. Let me just exclude age from here. And instead of area, I put line. So look at units. The first unit is year. Then I have a subunit of quarters. Maybe now I can add gender. So the first unit, the upper one is gender, then year, then quarter. Do you see? The largest unit is gender, so we have in 2 sections, men in the left, women in the right. Then the major unit is year, and the sub-unit is quarter. So the first one is the largest, then. So it's just a hierarchy of the units. It depends based on the order that you put over there. Again, you can play with the colors, maybe. Now look at them, the color of gender changed. So just keep in mind the order of the units. So the first one is the major units. Then on the right side of the major unit, you have subunits. Also, you understand how to play with the pattern of your figure. So with the pattern, you just drag and drop in the mark side and just change. Is it either, for example, if I want to look at the actual numbers here, I select unemployment and put on labels. So now I have actual numbers. You can, let's say, right click on each part, change format, font size, color, those kind of things. That, I mean, it's better to do some practice over them. Any questions? You need to do some more hands-on experiences, but basic Tableau is not difficult. So you just need to know the general logic, for example, how units and subunits work, how to play with the pattern in the middle, how to define parameters, how to make interactive figures, and like, for example, how to attach a parameter to a variable, which, you know, we created a bin variable, then make a parameter, and how to be connected them together. Cool. Thank you very much, and that's for today. You're welcome. Any question from people over Zoom? No questions? Okay, so if there is no question, that's for today. See you guys next week.